Welcome to This Chick Digs Whips. I'm your host, Karen Miller, and I'm currently riding in Bruce Adams' 1931 Model A Ford Rumble Seat. And a lot of people have gathered together today to celebrate their progress in restoring the Long Island Motor Parkway. Let's go for a ride. Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here today. Can you tell us a little bit about who you invited?
Well, this was the Long Island Motor Parkway Preservation Society and also the Model A Ford division of Long Island. And we're grouped together here to really preserve a part of the Long Island Motor Parkway. There's only 2 bridges left in Nassau County from the Motor Parkway. And this one here, we're preserving it. We're restoring it, we're preserving it, and today we're celebrating it.
There's certain vestiges of the Motor Parkway still around after 100 years. It is like so exciting. You feel like an automotive archaeologist.
Well, we worked on restoring that section of the Motor Parkway. And we cleared the brush and put the gravel down. It's one of the functions of our club, the Model A Ford Club of Long Island. So we came here to celebrate the work we did and the fact that that parkway is 100 years old.
It was the first concrete highway built in this country.
It's actually started in 1908, and the last day of its existence was Easter Sunday, 1938.
So the parkway extended from...
The parkway actually began in what was called at that time Central Park, which is now called Bethpage, and it actually spread westward and eastward. So it actually, the entire length was 48 miles. It actually went from Queens into Lake Ronkonkoma. So, but it actually started in the midpoint and kind of spread west towards the city and east towards Lake Ronkonkoma. So it was built by William K. Vanderbilt Jr. as kind of a way for his class of people to be able to go from their city estates, from their city businesses, onto their Long Island estates.
William Vanderbilt wanted to introduce cars to this country. So he figured he'd do it by having car races, and he had car races down Hempstead Turnpike and Jericho Turnpike in the turn of the last century, around 1905, 1906, and thereabouts. 250-mile races down Jericho Turnpike and Hempstead Turnpike. The 1906 race had a couple of deaths from cars spinning out and stuff. So, and the New York Times at that point had their editorial. They had Father Death, you know, the Grim Reaper presenting the Vanderbilt Cup trophy to a racer, and so that at that point, Vanderbilt thought it's not a bad idea to have his own, to build a race course. So what better way to build a race course at that time when there wasn't even paved roads around Long Island than to build a road. So he bought farms all the way from Queens all the way out to Lake Ronkonkoma. And out at Lake Ronkonkoma, they built a catering hall, and they built the 2-lane road all the way out, 40 some odd miles. 16 some odd bridges and toll lodges where people lived in and checked for the tolls, and he could have races, 250-mile races where the cars were going about 100 miles an hour.
And Model A Ford Club on Long Island, we got about 270 members.
We have Model A Day here every June. That we had how many cars? 70 cars here?
75 cars on the
75
fairgrounds.
cars here on the fairgrounds.
Is it a lot of maintenance?
It's a lot more than a modern car, that's for sure. It's not like you can just turn the key and drive away. You gotta grease it and check the oil and stuff because they burn oil. But the thing is, they're so easy to work on. You can do it yourself. You don't have to find a mechanic to work on it. You can do it yourself. Pair of pliers and a hammer, you can fix it.
When I'm paddling, paddling home, gee, when I'm paddling, paddling home, as nice red for the tide and pull for the shore, I hug her and kiss her and paddle some more, and I keep paddling, paddling home, until I find a spot where we're alone. Oh, she never says no, so I kiss her and go, paddling, paddling, sweet, sweet paddling, paddling, paddling home. I love her girl paddling, I know she loves to do, 'cause every night the moon is bright, she rides in my canoe. At midnight on the river, I heard her falling hard, but she don't care and I don't care if we get back at all. But I keep paddling, paddling home. Oh, I keep paddling, paddling home.
It's got two horns. So I was just a whole horn. It's got the...
Did you get any
Hey John, so what brings you here today?
Well, I got my truck here today, AA Ford truck. We ran it over the bridge already this morning once. We heard we're going back over again. So we're going to see how it does the second time.
And can you tell us like what model?
This truck is a AA farm truck. It was on my uncle's farm for, you know, from the 30s. He had this truck when said he was the second owner. So I'm the third owner, according to that. So, but it's all been restored and rebuilt quite a bit. Needs to be restored again, but it's a work in progress, all these cars. So you keep going and you keep working on them, and you never get done because you start all over again.
How often do you drive it?
I try to drive it as much as possible, but this truck is very slow, so we don't go too many places. We try to stay around the Massapequa area.
How many miles is on it?
You know, it says like 67,000 on the odometer.
Can't tell.
But I would believe it's true in a way because nobody drove these trucks much, even back in the day, because they were so slow and you never got anywhere with them. So the odometer could be correct on this.
All right, 67,000.
Yep.
Well, what's nice about the car today is that you have a car that raced on the Motor Parkway in 1909, 1910. It won the races, so here it's back on the Motor Parkway and going over a Motor Parkway bridge. This is the first time this car has gone on a Motor Parkway bridge in about 101 years.
I'm in the rumble seat. What type of car is this?
1931 Model A Ford. And it does, I can do around 60 miles an hour, so it gets out of its own way, and it starts all the time and runs all the time. It's really a very, very nice car to use for occasional trips almost anywhere. Cabriolet. Cabriolet being one of the neatest models that Ford made. It was the second most expensive model that Ford made in the 1930s, and it's a lot of fun. It's because when you put the top up, it becomes just like a hardtop or a modern convertible, which was unusual. Right now we're headed towards Battle Row, which was a campsite. They called it Battle Row because I think they were Portuguese and Italian, or Portuguese and African American workers that worked in the brickyards up here, and apparently they didn't get along too well, and they had big fights every Friday night. So they named this area Battle Row, and Nassau County has a campsite there on this Battle Row, in Battle Row. Hopefully there's no more battling going on. We had enough battling just driving down this remains of this Motor Parkway. We found it in the woods in the Model A Club. Maybe 30 of us were working every weekend with our chainsaws and things, cutting open the road and making it at least roadworthy. And one of our members even came, who owns a gravel company, came and donated crushed rock that we put on to make it so it doesn't flood anymore. So we're just running along on the remains of the Motor Parkway. If you look underneath where we're driving, which appears to be dirt, but it's actually tar, a little bit deeper, and pretty soon we'll be going over a bridge. Just out here in the middle of the woods is a bridge left over from this motor parkway. Motor parkway having gone 40 some odd miles from Queens out to it went from Queens out to Lake Ronkonkoma, where it was this very fancy catering hall, hotel, restaurant called Le Petit Trianon, and that was the end of their run. During the 1920s, people called the Long Island Motor Parkway Rum Runners Road because they could drive along this thing and not worry. There were no police to police it. So they could run their booze in from Montauk and places, and they could run their booze back out from the city and drive along at any speed and not have to worry about law enforcement because
Next, probably our next big thing that we're going to do is that they're trying to build housing on part of the Motor Parkway in Levittown. And there's a developer who basically wants to destroy an open space that is where the Motor Parkway was. And it's not only a typical Motor Parkway, this is where the grandstand and press box was for the Vanderbilt Cup races that were held partially on the Motor Parkway from 1908 to 1910. So they're putting condos up there, and the community is against it, and from a historical standpoint we're against it too. So that's probably going to be our next project, is going before the board, the Hempstead Town Board, and giving the rationale they really should be preserving that area, possibly making it into a park, as to put housing into a very small space.
Well, we're all packing up and leaving right now. We had a great day in Old Bethpage and hanging out with all of these car owners who donate so much of their time and effort and are so passionate about preserving this historic landmark.
I don't see nothing to do. 'Cause every night the moon is bright, she rides in my canoe. At midnight on the river, I had a falling heart. But she don't care and I don't care if we get back it off. Then I keep paddling, paddling home. Oh, I keep paddling, paddling